Warning, the player selections you're about to see may flop miserably. FPL TV cannot be held responsible for any of your own transfer shockers. Please, FPL responsibly.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Point Predictor, the series where I pick 5 players that I think will score 4 points or more in the upcoming FPL Gameweek. Within these predictions, I can only select one player per club, and I must follow the categories shown on screen. If you enjoy the Point Predictor series, then be sure to support the channel by dropping a like and getting subscribed to FPL TV. Before we look ahead to Game Week 11's predictions, let's see how my choices from Game Week 10 performed. So for Game Week 10, a very pleasing 4 out of 5 correct picks last week, with all my correct choices getting double figures. Unfortunately, it was just Lacazette on the Sunday that let me down, so close yet so far from the Point Predictor full house. So let's move on to Game Week 11 now, and see which players I think will score points this weekend. My defensive choice this week goes to Benjamin Mendy. With Man City players, there's always that slight concern for rotation, but with Mendy being rested during their cup game on Thursday night, and Leroy Sané starting that one, that's basically concrete knowledge that the Frenchman will start this tasty home fixture. Man City face Southampton in Game Week 11, a side who have failed to score a single goal in their last 5 Premier League games, so you'd have to say the odds of a clean sheet here do look very likely, especially considering that City go into this game on the back of 6 consecutive clean sheets already. For my budget midfield option this week, I've selected Everton's Gylfi Sigurdsson. The midfielder did let me down in a previous episode of the Point Predictor, and I do find it hard to trust Everton players of late, but the stats don't lie, and they suggest Sigurdsson could be in for some points in this one. Not only does Sigurdsson boast an impressive 5 goals in his last 6 games, but he's also produced 17 goal attempts in just the last 4 game weeks, the most among budget midfielders. Opponents Brighton have kept a very impressive 3 clean sheets on the bounce now, which is even more incredible when you realise they've conceded the most shots on target of any team in the last 4 game weeks. This shows that goalkeeper Matt Ryan has been heroic of late, but also suggests that surely this can't be sustained for much longer. For my any priced midfielder, I first selected Eden Hazard for this category, with news that he had trained with the Chelsea squad and is expected to start in Game Week 11. However, just to avoid any risks, I'm going to stick by Liverpool's Mo Salah for another game week, who's nailed on to start and is really capturing some form now. Despite having on paper a very tricky fixture away to Arsenal, I still fancy Salah's chances to get some points in this one, regardless of what the result may be. Arsenal have been surprisingly frail defensively all season, only managing 2 clean sheets so far, and notably conceding the most big chances of any team in home games this season. This fixture does have a history of being a high-scoring one, with both sides naturally looking to attack, and with Salah's stats looking great at the moment, he could get in on the action. My budget forward option this week, below the price of 8 million, goes to West Ham's Arnautovic. It's been a frustrating few weeks for owners of the Austrian talisman, missing last game week through illness and having a generally stop-start season due to injury. Being an owner myself, I do feel he could bounce back in this home fixture against Burnley though. Opponents Burnley have a pretty woeful defensive record this season, conceding 30 big chances in total, which to put into perspective is joint top with Fulham so far. They've also conceded the most shots in the opening 10 game weeks with a massive 209. So this bodes well for Arnautovic, who among budget forwards has still produced the most goal attempts in the last 4 game weeks, despite missing out on last week's game completely. My any priced forward this game week goes to a fairly cheap option for this category, it's Jamie Vardy. Vardy isn't heading into this game in any real kind of form, but it's a selection I've made due to Cardiff's struggling defence this season. The Bluebirds are currently the league's 2nd worst defence, with 23 goals conceded in 10 games. This includes 18 in just their last 6, averaging 3 goals conceded per game in that time. Vardy was dropped to the bench in Game Week 10, but manager Puel has confirmed it was to rest the English striker, who's now set to start in this one. Despite only playing 45 minutes last week though, Vardy still managed 3 goal attempts and 7 penalty area touches, which is better stats than many strikers managed in the full 90 last week. Due to the recent and very tragic events at Leicester City, I expect the players to really perform in this one, and Vardy could be in for some points, and all my condolences go out to the victims of that terrible incident. So that wraps up my Point Predictor picks for Game Week 11. Let me know what you make of the choices and who would make your 5 Point Predictor picks this week. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and if you did, be sure to support the channel by hitting like and getting subscribed. Good luck to you all for Game Week 11, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all next week.